screw this. I would rather be on the street than to spend one more day going to work in a financial institution in a bank, which I believed in my heart at the time was hurting people and not helping people. Everything that they advertised was pretty much BS. I need to do something that works. I have to sell something that I can wake up every day, feel good about, stand behind, and sleep at night knowing that I'm not hurting people and that I'm actually helping people. So I said, screw it. I got to figure out how to do this. What's up, guys? My name is Carlton Washington, and I want to share with you my story today as an entrepreneur, as a founder, and as a franchisor. I feel like this is an area that a lot of people still have a lot of curiosity about, a lot of questions, a lot of misinformation out there about what franchising is, really the ups and downs of entrepreneurship that a lot of people won't share with you, and then who you can go to help you out through these type of things without wasting a lot of money, without wasting a lot of time, and more than anything else, without being scammed. I've lost a lot of money with people scamming, selling you something that doesn't work, telling you information that they themselves cannot complete. And so I really want to be somebody that makes a difference. I always tell people, and you'll get to know this from my story, that, financially, I'm not motivated by taking a whole bunch of people's money and not providing value. I'm fine. I work. I own a business. My wife works. We are really good. I'm coming to you guys today from in my barn out on my property in the country. And this is exactly where I want to be. And so I just tell you guys that to say, hey, look, I may be for you. I may not be for you. And that's fine. But the biggest thing here is to be transparent about that. And so give you a little bit of background on me. I was originally raised in Washington, D.C. area, moved around a little bit with my parents who were in education, lived a little bit in Mississippi, spent a lot of time in South Florida, went to high school there, went back to D.C. for school, went to Howard University, and I ended up after school going to Atlanta, Georgia, and working in the financial services industry. I sold loans, I sold investments, I gave investment advice, I sold insurance plans, life insurance, property and casualty, all of that. Went from there to get a master's in business administration from Kennesaw State University at a time where I had nothing else to do because the economy had completely crashed, especially here in Atlanta. I believe at the time, almost half this city, if not more, appeared to be out of work at that time. And so used it to really further my education. And I realized something like, hey, if I keep on working in these corporate environments, not only did I just screw over thousands of people within my region through issuing bad loans and bad debt and through taking out neighborhoods that couldn't service the debt, that wasn't good for my conscience. And not only was it not good for my conscience, I also started studying, like, if I want to be wealthy and have control of my life, I'm never going to retire. And it's almost impossible when you factor in retirement calculators, which I was in the financial services industry selling stuff to people that never added up to what the goal was. And I just realized that. And I started studying that the people that I wanted to be like and the lifestyle that I wanted to lead, the only way I was going to get there was through entrepreneurship. And so I decided to take a chance. I ended up moving back to South Florida from Atlanta to follow my wife's career. And I got really, really, really depressed about what I was doing. I took a step down and went back to work in a bank. I worked at SunTrust Bank, which isn't even around anymore now. It's Truist, for a really, really, really bad leader in that bank. And every day I just couldn't imagine that this was my life. This is where I ended up after all this hard work and after all these lessons. And so I said to myself, hey, you know what? Screw this. I would rather be on the street. I'd rather be like renting jet skis on the beach, be a beach bum, be a bartender or waiter, at least interact with people and just enjoy my life, whatever. I'd rather do anything else than to spend one more day going to work in a financial institution in a bank, which I believed in my heart at the time was hurting people and not helping people. Everything that they advertised was pretty much BS. All the services were BS. They didn't really help the consumer. They really just helped the bank. And so I just didn't feel good about that. And at the time I was a patient of hormone replacement therapy. For you, those of you guys who know what that is, that's basically balancing out one's hormones that have diminished with age to bring them back to an optimum level. And so the thing that really impacted me was testosterone. I was low on testosterone. I supplemented it. It made me feel great, helped me to look great. It helped me to perform better. And I've been doing it for years. And it was probably the one thing that really just kept me sane in terms of balancing the stress that I had. And so said to myself, hey, look, if I'm going to do anything, I need to do something that works. I have to sell something that I can wake up every day, feel good about, stand behind, and sleep at night knowing that I'm not hurting people and that I'm actually helping people. And hormone replacement therapy was what helped me. So I said, screw it. I got to figure out how to do this. And so I started working on a business plan. And at the time I had a mentor that came in while I was at the bank. And he told me, hey, if you're going to do this business, I've been in this type of industry before, you need to know 50 people out the gate. If you don't know 50 people out the gate, you need to figure that out, because otherwise you're going to have a really rough start. So I contacted a guy that I was working with already who was helping me get into great shape. I was completely focused on just getting in the best shape of my life and doing a bodybuilding contest. And I just went to this guy and was like, hey, would you want to partner with me on this? And as the gods would have it, he was like, yes. And so we just did it. And we didn't know exactly what we were doing. We figured it out on the way, and we tumbled and stumbled and toiled through this entire process to build a company which we called Forever Young, that I have on my shirt here. Logo beautifully placed in the back here, made out of bullet casings. That was a gift from my partner. But yeah, Forever Young Anti-Aging Solutions. You guys can look it up. And at the time, we didn't know that we were going to become the leader in the space, the place that had the most locations offering wellness and aesthetic services. And so I like to tell people, we started a business that typically costs $750,000 to $1 million with $70,000. I was in the bank at the time. I was able to get my partner credit cards that we ran through PayPal so he could get his portion. And I got a settlement check in the mail from a bank that had done a lot of their employees wrong. And it just showed up, and I was able to get my portion to put it in. And we had $70,000 to start a business that typically cost $1 million. And so we quickly ran out of capital. We used merchant cash advance debt to build our business after that, which, if you guys don't know what that is, that's where they give you a loan based upon your credit card receivables. And it's 33 to 40% interest rates that we're paying on this every single day. Once you run your charges, they're taking that money. It was eating us alive. And so it was extremely high stress. We had to look the part. We had to look good. We had to feel good. We had to hide the fact that we were in this massive amount of debt. And we just persevered every single day and put smiles on our faces to go and help people. And it worked. And so the long story short, after years of doing this, we started one location in Boca Raton, Florida. Then we got another location. That location was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And then we're like, hey, we're never going to be content enough. We want to grow, but we're not wealthy people. We didn't come from silver spoons. We didn't have oodles and oodles of money at our disposal. And so what did we do? We got introduced to franchising by someone who was an expert. And I was a little skeptical, just like some of you guys are probably skeptical right now. Like, who is this guy? I don't know him. I don't trust him. How can I believe what he's saying? And it was the same situation. And so this guy met with our families, took us to dinner, and said, I really think you guys have a shot at being a big franchise. I can see you guys everywhere. We thought he was, yanking our tails or whatever and blowing smoke, but we went ahead with the process because we're very ambitious. And so next thing you know, we have 1 franchise location sold, 2 franchise locations sold, 3 franchise locations sold. And then you know what happened? COVID hit us, which was another huge test to our business and to our industry. I'm not going to bore you guys with the details, but we made it through COVID, growing our business, month over month revenues, year over year revenues, still turned a profit. And not only that, our business was tested to see if this is a trend or a fad, or do people really love what you do, which is medical wellness and aesthetics in a retail setting without insurance. So people can make an investment in their health that's not controlled and dictated by anyone but themselves. And what do we find? We found that the demand was there. We found that people do love what we do. We found that people loved it even more after getting on Zoom and seeing their faces in this YouTube and content culture that we exist, that we're participating in right now, that this was here to stay. And so it gave us wind behind our backs. We were able to partner with other people in the franchise space who brought their expertise to us and knowledge in scaling businesses, in construction, and retail site selection, and picking the right franchisees, and what risk to take, what risk not to take, and really wrapping your brand into something that can scale and that will work in California just as much as it works in New York and then Mississippi and all around. Like, that was such a learning lesson in itself. After all the formal education that I had, this was an advancement on that, something that you can't learn in school, something that no one can teach you. And if a professor is teaching you this, you know what they say with professors. A lot of time, the professors are people who really couldn't cut it doing it the real way, so they teach, right? We charge when you're really successful doing it. So you don't want to share the information with everybody. And so we had a hard lesson in franchising, and we toiled through that. That was a completely different business. And next thing you know, we really optimized our business during the COVID period, and coming out of that period, went to markets and traveled all across this country selling our brand, and went from 8 locations to 150 plus in our pipeline that are sold, not open. And now to today, where not only are we the leader in what we do, we have 60 plus open stores, and we open 1 to 2 a month. On top of all this growth, we were able to use it to achieve our ultimate goal, the American dream. What is that? It's probably the same as yours. We wanted to be wealthy. We wanted to be able to take care of our kids and our families. We wanted to have the time and the freedom and the ability to do more of what we wanted to do without people really dictating that. And we achieved that. How do we achieve that is one of the things that I want to help people with today. And that was through a private equity merger and acquisition partnership, in which we were able to still keep a percentage of our business, but also bring in capital, which allows the business to thrive even more, in which allows us to take a smaller percentage of something that's much greater though, right? So the financial gain can be much, much, much more when you have capital, more team members, more operators to scale your vision and your dream. And so it was a strategic decision to do so. So now I'm here today in 2025 as an owner still of Forever Young, as a franchisee now of Forever Young, the business that I helped to start. And on top of that, I was able to take chips off the table and provide my family a good lifestyle and provide a buffer and some security for them to be able to fulfill their dreams, and for my kids to fulfill their dreams, and for them to, just feel a little bit better at night about their future, not being as bleak as when you don't have control, when you don't have direction, when you don't have vision. And so now I still work in Forever Young. Now I still help franchisees within Forever Young, but now I said, hey, look, I've got a skill. I've got something that no one else really has. It's my experience as a banker, my experience in private equity, my experience in real estate, my experience in insurance, my experience in financial literacy, which it took me years to develop, my experience through executive leadership in the MBA program, my experience in international business through that program, and now the real world practical experience of taking a company from one retail unit with very limited funds and scaling that into something in 17 states with 60 plus units and growing, while also being able to capitalize, taking chips off the table, being able to extract cash from this business while still retaining ownership, and then doubling down and reinvesting in that business as a franchisee and carrying out the goals, vision, and direction of the company, which I believe there's very few people out there that can tell that story. I happen to be one of them. And so now my goal is to help qualified people that I believe actually have what it takes to have the same type of results, and help them and coach them when I can, amongst working, opening my own centers, my family, which is a priority, and other things that I want to do. I'm not taking a whole bunch of clients. I'm not going to be spending all my hours away from my family, taking calls, things of that nature. It's for a few people who I believe have this capability, who feel as though this is a worthwhile investment of their time and inquiry and their finances to get better at what they're doing. No one's going to give it to you for free. I can assure you of that. If you don't like what I have to say, trust me, I can give you your money back, or we don't even have to proceed after our first interaction. If you come through my portal, you'll see some questions there. They're very particular. I don't need to work with people who are dreamers. I don't want to work with people who are dreamers. I want to work with people who are doers and people who have the it factor to actually scale themselves as a person and to scale their business interests. Not everybody's going to cut it. Not everybody has that it factor. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'll give you some free advice right now. Most of the people that I see that actually have success, they typically have some sort of it factor. You either have it or you do not. And that is something that you can find out on yourself, on your own, or that's something that you could ask somebody and just say, hey, look, tell me the truth. You know, like, what kind of things do I need to work on? Maybe you can develop the it factor, but this isn't for lazy people. This is not for procrastinators. I prefer to work with people who have active lifestyles, are somewhat fit, have some type of routine of fitness and wellness there. This is a passion project for me. This is something that is benevolent. This is something where I am charging for my time because I have to. But other than that, the best outcomes and scenarios from this are going to be from people who are like, hey, that thing you told me just helped me free my wife and kids. That thing you told me just helped me buy, you know, that 50 acres and a ranch home that I always wanted, or that Ferrari that I wanted to, or I'm finally able to go in and buy X amount of Bitcoin or crypto, or set myself up for success. Whatever it is that your dream is, you know, you own a retail business or any business, a service business, a brand, and you need help tightening that up. You want to see that thing on billboards and on commercials, and you want to see your company in multiple states. I can help you with that. You're at the end of the road with your company and you're profitable and you have EBITDA, which is, you know, $1.5 million or $2 million or more, you know, in EBITDA or net profits. I can help you exit that business. I've done it before. I have great resources when it comes to this. Or you have a business and you want to scale it and turn it into a franchise, and it has all those telltale signs of a franchise, something that can be replicated. You have good systems, good people, and a good brand. I have people that do that. They sell your brand. They go state to state to state. They do the work, and you focus on building the best business. I've done every single thing that I'm telling you today. You don't have to take my word for it. You can do your own due diligence. You can look me up. You can Google me. You can do whatever you want. The brand is active. It's probably in your state. And again, reputation matters. So ask someone, is this guy telling the truth? Has he done this before? And if the answer is yes, then I'd say go see if you qualify, click on the forum, comment franchise on this content, and let's have a conversation. And again, let's be transparent with each other. I'll tell you what I'm looking for. You tell me what you're looking for. And if it doesn't work, that's fine. No hard feelings. I appreciate you just having any interest in the first place. So again, my name is Carlton Washington. I'm the co-founder of the brand Forever Young Wellness and Aesthetics, 17 states and growing, 60 plus locations and growing, opening 2 stores every single month. I have gone through private equity exits. I have worked in private equity. I have worked in banking, business banking, investments. I've been an investment advisor, licensed. You can look that up. Insurance sales, and anything in between. I'm a family man who just simply is chasing the American dream and wants to help people who deserve it do that as well. Again, thank you so much just for clicking in here today. Please like, please subscribe. If this video impacted you or someone that you know might benefit from this, please share it. Again, comment franchise below. I'm Carlton Washington, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.